Hello and welcome to The Pulse. It can be expensive to be ill in Hong Kong. Much of that expense goes to buying drugs. Prices vary not only between private and public hospitals and clinics, but depending on the type of drugs. Last month, a single mother suffering from a serious disease pleaded to Legco for help in getting treatment. A week later, she died. That's given rise to increased discussion about medication that does not receive a government subsidy. More on that in part 2. First, though, dare we say it, Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying has threatened newspapers, a political commentator and even a legislator with legal action for talking about his $50 million payment from the Australian firm UGL. An 11-member Legislative Council committee has been set up to look into the matter. It's expected to take 14 months to investigate. In a meeting on Monday, members of the committee were informed of an unexpected intervention.
You must know me. I'm one of your secrets. Oh, from what I see, you're trying hard to keep it.
冇違法，冇任何隱瞞，冇違規。
On Monday, at a closed-door meeting of the Legco committee investigating a payment of $50 million to Leung Chun-ying by Australian engineering firm UGL, legislators were informed that the chief executive or his office had tried to alter the scope of the probe with the help of a pro-government legislator. According to one source, an individual in the Legco Secretariat had alerted lawmakers to what had happened. This is the document that DAB legislator Holton Chow submitted to the Legco Secretariat for an April 25th committee meeting. 44 points had been edited on the night of April 21st. The editing history reveals the changes were made by user CEO CE.
我係一個所謂嘅被調查對象，我係完全係有權利向立法會表述我對佢哋嘅疑義研究範圍。
On Tuesday, Leung Chun-ying admitted that he had approached Holton Chow and that he had edited the document.
大家睇到嘅，我提出嘅嗰個修改文本呢，就係將一啲本來周浩鼎認為唔應該調查嘅，或者甚至佢認為呢根本成個 研究範圍唔需要，因為已經有職權範圍啦。而呢個意見呢，唔係淨係佢有咁嘅意見，另外有2位建制派嘅議員呢，喺會上都表示咗意見，記錄嗰度呢係可以睇到嘅。
After Mr. Leung's initial response on the issue, Holton Chow met the news media. He said he could see no conflict of interest or personal misconduct by himself, and that he believes that, as the subject of the investigation, Mr. Leung is entitled to express a view on it. On Friday morning, before a Legco House committee meeting to discuss a condemnation motion against him and another closed-door meeting regarding the UGL probe, Chow resigned from his position as deputy chairman of the Select Committee.
我喺處理 UGL 調查委員會嘅工作當中呢，係絕對冇任何隱瞞，冇違規，亦都冇違法。一直以嚟呢，我只係希望令到個調查可以完整同埋公正。我係考慮到呢委員會日後嘅運作，亦都希望呢係盡快 平息今次嘅政治紛爭。
對於佢呢個行為本身是否涉及瀆職呢？我相信立法會係需要繼續調查落去，亦都要繼續追究落去，因為呢個係牽涉到立法會尊嚴嘅問題，牽涉到一個議員佢個人操守嘅問題，更加牽涉到行政長官有冇干預立法會獨立運作嘅問題。呢一個先至係茲事體大嘅事情。
Many pro-establishment lawmakers, including DAB legislators, say they knew nothing about what had happened between Leung and Chow until it was revealed on Monday. That same day, 22 pan-Democrat legislators issued a joint statement that, as deputy chairman, Holton Chow should quit his position to maintain the credibility of the investigation. Their statement reiterated that the chief executive had no right or power to interfere. On Thursday, Leung Chun-ying sent an open letter to the committee in which he gave his views on the UGL case and the agreement between him and the Australian company.
With me in the studio is the former Secretary for the Civil Service, Professor Joseph Wong. Now, you obviously know about all of these procedures relating to disclosure, so can we start with the basic issue? Is there anything, in fact, to investigate over this UGL payment to Leung Chun-ying?
I think there are two issues of public interest which the committee can do. First of all, is to investigate the facts and come out with the facts of the matter, which up to date are still very confusing. You have different people are saying different things. That's the first point. The second point is to investigate the action or non-action taken by the Chief Executive, C.Y. Leung, is appropriate or not, and commensurate with the highest position he holds in Hong Kong, and that can be and should be separate from the criminal investigation which ICAC is conducting.
Now, the Chief Executive says he has every right to make his views known to the committee about its terms of reference. Is that right?
Well, he certainly has a right to express his views to the committee, and indeed he can even offer to attend the committee to present his views. To express one's views doesn't mean he has a right to determine the terms of reference of select committee. It's for select committee to hear his views and decide what to do with his views, whether to accept in all, accept in part, or not to accept at all. So that part, I think, is a basic right of anybody who is involved in the exercise. But what went wrong is he conveyed his views on the terms of reference select committee to a certain member, Holden Chow, in the committee, in private. And Holden Chow present his views as if it were Holden Chow's own views to the committee without disclosing these actually come from Chief Executive. So this is a totally inappropriate and devious way of doing things, which is tantamount to not respecting or deceiving the select committee.
And Holden Chow, as we know, has now resigned from that committee following this controversy. But he made a point of saying, when he resigned, I've done nothing wrong.
It's absolutely disappointing for him to say that. It's plain to everyone that if you are a member of a select committee, if a select committee is tasked to investigate a certain person, if that person contacts you, express certain views to you, you are duty bound to report this to the select committee. He not even did not do that. He turned the comments from the subject of investigation into his own suggestions and put it forward to the select committee. Now that is totally wrong thing to do. So I think it's not just he should resign from the select committee. I think let's remember Legislative Council should really consider whether what he has done is appropriate with the duty a legislative member has with the Legislative Council and with the public. That is a matter of misconduct, which should be
misconduct in public office, presumably.
Yes.
Is this serious enough for him to have to step down as a member of Legco?
Well, that is, of course, for the Legislative Council to investigate, because there are different levels of misconduct. Now, at one level, it could actually be a criminal offense. At the other level, it could be something which may have to be condemned, but not to the extent of using the power which the basic law has to sort of disqualify a member. But at the very least, he should at least admit that he has done something wrong, and the fact that he keeps on saying there was absolutely nothing wrong with his action is unforgivable.
And let's look forward a bit. I mean, where does this leave the credibility of Legco and its investigatory powers?
It depends on what the select committee is going to do next. There was actually one suggestion, in a way, coming from the chief executive, which I think should be considered, because he was saying that, why don't you make the select committee public? Why do you have to discuss matters in closed door? I think he's got a point.
Let's see if that will happen. Joseph Wong, thank you very much indeed, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back. According to a 2014 United States study, the average cost of developing and bringing a new drug to market was $2.6 billion US. That cost hasn't come down since. Drugs for rare diseases and conditions can be horrendously expensive for patients and may be unprofitable to develop. The Hong Kong government subsidises some 1,300 medicines listed on the Hospital Authority's drugs formulary. However, some Hong Kong patients with rare diseases require drugs that are not on the list.
我想請你哋大家一齊嚟睇下我個圖。唔明白我嘅人，個個都可能以為我係一個有咗 BB 嘅媽媽，但唔該唔係啊！我唔係有咗 BB， 我係因為呢個病生晒太多腫瘤，生到而家個肚大到係咁樣。我而家先得個30幾歲，係咪就要俾呢個病去折磨我去死？我唔甘心啊！求下你哋幫下我哋啦。
Her wish did not come true. A week after 36-year-old Ji Yinlan made her appeal to a Legco panel, she died. The medicine that could have helped her costs $20,000 per month and is not subsidised by the government at any public hospital or clinic. Ji's death has sparked a public debate over whether more money should be allocated to patients with rare diseases. On May 9th, legislator Fernando Cheung hosted a meeting to give patients and concerned groups an opportunity to talk to representatives of the Hospital Authority and the Food and Health Bureau. Cheung says the authorities promised to follow up on funding for those suffering from rare diseases, but details won't be announced until later this year. Markerson has a genetic disease called spinal muscular atrophy, also known as SMA or Wernicke-Hoffmann disease. He's a type 1 patient suffering from the most severe and common form of SMA, in which a missing gene prevents essential protein production and causes fatal muscle weakness. 90% of those with the condition die before they're 2, often due to respiratory failure. Doctors spotted Marcus's SMA symptoms during his first 6 months. Since then, the physical challenges he has faced include trouble in breathing, swallowing and walking. According to the University of Hong Kong's Department of Pediatric and Adolescent Medicine, there are currently 90 SMA type 1 patients in Hong Kong. Every night when Wenus and her husband Brian get home from work, they spend at least 4 hours alone with Marcus. They stretch his limbs while making sure he is well entertained. They fear the disease could worsen and take away their son's life at any moment.
佢而家其實已經有脊柱側彎㗎啦，咁其實而家20幾度啦，咁其實好多啲醫生嗰啲同我講，其實如果以佢呢隻病個 case 咧，其實會越嚟越嚴重嘅，咁可能到真係40-50度嘅時候咧，要做手術㗎啦。
What seemed to be good news came when Wennis and Bryan learned that Spinraza, a new drug that addresses the underlying genetic cause of the disease, was approved by the US Food and Drug Administration last December. It's the only FDA-approved drug for this genetic disorder. However, Spinraza costs as much as $6 million for the first year of treatment and $3 million a year thereafter. The Department of Health and Hospital Authority still have to approve the drug before it can be introduced into the drug formulary for public hospitals and clinics. Wennis and Bryan hope the government will approve and subsidise the drug as soon as possible.
啱啱佢確診嗰陣時咧，我都好記得，即係醫生同我講。冇藥醫嘅呢隻病㗎，咁你好好愛護佢啦，帶佢翻屋企啦，即係講到好似食飯咁樣，咁我哋都好努力維持佢嘅生命咯。咁好啦，到真係隻藥而家有啦，原來仲要我哋其實 keep 住睇到外國好多新聞，其實係真係好好嘅反應，即係啲小朋友打咗係明明好似佢咁，點知？可以企到少少喎，你唔好話佢企到少少啊！如果佢坐到，佢條頸有力，佢已經好開心噶啦。
咁我哋都希望睇下香港政府可唔可以幫我哋，即係同藥廠嗰方面可以即係去議價一下，即係可以去到一個我哋負擔得到嘅水平。咁當然最理想啦，我哋都唔係話希望話完全政府幫晒我哋，但係如果你話係600萬一年，根本上我哋冇可能係支付得到咯。
The Hong Kong government doesn't have any official definition of rare disease or any specific policy to support these patients. As these diseases inevitably affect only a limited number of people, they pose special challenges due to insufficient knowledge or training in the medical sector and due to the high drug costs for treatment. In 2005, the Hospital Authority introduced the drugs Formulary to ensure access to cost-effective drugs that are safe and effective for all patients. The formulary is divided into 4 categories: general drugs, special drugs, self-financed items with safety net, and self-financed items without safety net. Drugs not included in the formulary cannot be prescribed to patients by doctors in public hospitals or clinics. According to the Hong Kong Alliance for Rare Diseases, there are people suffering with over 30 types of rare diseases in the SAR, only 8 types of which can be treated with drugs on the formulary. On May 2nd, a Food and Health Bureau spokesperson said the government has given additional annual recurrent funding of $75 million to the Hospital Authority for drugs to treat rare diseases.
社會上呢部分人呢，係需要有一啲喺一般成本效益以外嘅一啲投放呢，佢哋先至可以維持生命同埋健康。咁所以政府係應該考慮呢啲例外嘅需要呢，係有一個特別嘅資源或者一種特別嘅政策去對應。咁呢個正正我相信都係世界各國點解有罕病政策。就係咁樣，因為如果你擺喺一般嘅公共衛生入邊去處理咧，的確係即係冇辦法處理得到。
Legislator and Dr. Pierre Chan believes the drug formulary is in some ways restricting medical choices for doctors and patients in need. But he says a more pressing problem is the excessive pricing of new and effective drugs, which barely no one can afford.
香港政府奉行呢個資本主義同埋商業嘅社會。成日我都話一啲嘅監管啊或者管制咧，都係對醫生同埋病人。其中一個咪就係藥物名冊。除咗我哋去逼政府去令到佢鬆啲手，放多啲資源錢落去，令到病人受惠之外，大家都要諗下開價嗰個藥物開到300萬、600萬嘅藥物，係咪俾佢繼續開？下次開落3000萬。
Dr. Raymond Liang is a member of the Hospital Authority and a specialist in haematology and haematological oncology. He's been working at the front line for over 30 years. Liang says the drug formulary is only useful when prioritising different types of drugs, given that there are finite resources. It does not address a fundamental problem in the pharmaceutical industry.
政府要同藥廠嗰方面去傾，係可唔可以用啲平啲嘅價錢去攞到呢啲藥嚟到俾一啲比較窮困嘅病人係負擔唔到呢啲藥嘅，或者係尤其呢啲藥好多係要長期食嘅話咧，會唔會有一個封頂嘅安排咧？譬如每年係真係嗰個藥費係有一個嘅上限啊，咁變咗可以能夠佢哋負擔得到咧。又或者係用政府直情立法嘅形式去監管呢啲藥價，係外國都有呢啲咁嘅經驗嘅，佢哋係有一個委員會去制定呢啲藥價，就唔係可以藥廠去自由定價嘅。
Last Friday, the Civic Party and the New People's Party both held anniversary dinners. Most government officials chose to attend the New People's Party rather than the Civic Party's celebration. Incoming Chief Executive Carrie Lam, who hasn't shown up for the past 5 years, did, however, attend the Civic Party dinner and even stayed for some performances. We'll leave you with some images taken at these parties so you'll get some idea of what you didn't miss. But do make sure not to miss the Pulse next week. Goodbye.